Hey guys, how's it going? It's Al. Week 13 Monday Night Football Draftkings Showdown, and we've got a fantastic game, well, a fantastic matchup between the Buffalo Bills at home against the New England Patriots, an AFC in-division clash. It's just fantastic, right? Two teams near the top, Patriots at the top, Bills challenging for the top, and great offenses with pieces all around. The problem is, the weather does not look like it's going to work with us during this game, though we're going to take a look at all that. I'm not a weatherman. I am going to use a weatherman's forecast to talk to you about it, and you're going to have to make your decisions for the players and how you're going to play. And we're going to talk about all the different combinations that we should look at. It's very interesting. This game has come down 6 points. The total has come down 6.5 points since open and is down to 41.5. So while this looks like it's going to be a great football game, it may not be a great fantasy environment. And we're going to try and figure it out. Somebody has to win on Showdown, so why shouldn't it be us? We're going to take a look at how we're going to do that, how we can do that best, and we're going to do a pick'em on Underdog Fantasy to see if we can't pick some stuff out to play over there in terms of pick'em and fill out a card there. So thank you guys so much. We've had a fantastic week. We really, really have. We crossed the charity fundraising goal. I think every video except First Look got over 1,000 likes. We have a 10% rule on this channel. So that means if we get X amount of views, we need 10% of those views to be likes. So if this video gets 8,000 views by the time the game kicks off on Monday Night Football, we need at least 800 likes on this video. So drop me a like, subscribe to the channel, ring the notifications bell, leave me a reply down below. Let me know how you did this Sunday. It was a wild week on the main slate. Let me know how you're attacking this showdown slate, and let's go.
He's a legend.
Okay, so we'll start over on Underdog Fantasy. They have a great pick'em game that you can do. You can pick anywhere from 2 to 5. If you pick 2, it pays 3 to 1, 6 to 1 for 3. If you get 3 out of 3, 10 to 1 if you get 4 out of 4, and 20x if you can hit a 5 pick'em for whatever you determine to be the amount that you want to play for. Lot of stuff to choose from on this game. I personally think there's going to be a lot of running. So I'm going to pick a few guys to run, or I'm going to take some unders on passing yards. Like, there could be some stuff that gets there on passing yards, but like, man, I don't know. It's going to be hard to cut through that wind. So let's see. Let's go. I'm going to go under 6.5 receiving yards. We're going to do unders. I usually do overs, right? So let's do some unders. We're going to go under 6.5 receiving yards for Damian Harris. I don't think they're going to throw him the ball like very much at all. Let's go under Mac Jones, 210 passing yards. And I want to have a sweat, so I don't want to do that. Let's go under 1.5 passing touchdowns for Josh Allen. 3 unders. Really stupid, right? We're going to do this one for like $25. You can use promo code smizzle. You get a deposit match when you join on your first deposit. It's free money to make your bets with. All you got to do, you fill out your tickets. Maybe you can win. We'll see how it goes. As I said, don't follow my pick'em picks. I'm terrible at pick'em. I'm basically randomly picking picks with no stuff for these videos. Don't chase my picks. Do not tail me. In fact, play the opposite if you want. Looking at all of the weather that we got in this game over on Rotogrinders on their weather page that they have over there, you can see why the totals come down. It's going to be cold, but like we're not really concerned with cold, right? Unless it's like super extreme cold, like negative 20 degrees. It's going to be wet. It's going to be raining all day long and at least through the beginning of the game, or expected to be raining through the beginning of the game. And it may turn into snow as that wind chill is going to take effect and make it feel a little bit colder. What we're concerned with is the amount of wind. Okay. So looking at Kevin Roth's update here, like I said, I'm not a weatherman, but he is. He's got this game labeled as orange. It's the only game. It's not like we can avoid it, right? So generally pretty ugly stuff. Temperatures near freezing, snow showers possible, but less likely, and winds around 20 miles per hour sustained to start. That's why we're betting the unders on the passing yards and passing touchdowns, winding down throughout the game. It's not you can't throw the ball weather, but longer throws and field goals will be impacted. So heading over to, let's go. Well, why am I looking at Vegas for NBA when I want to look at Vegas for NFL? So here we have the total. As I said, this game came down. Now it's down 7. I wrote down 6.5 on my notes like 15 minutes ago, and it's already down another half point since then. You can see it just trickling all the way down. The team totals have come down. The Bills opened as 7-point favorites, are now 2.5-point favorites. This is just an ugly, ugly, ugly situation. We don't have like those 27.5-point expectations from the Bills. We're looking way lower now, 21.75, 19 points for them. It's going to be a good football game, not a great fantasy game. So, looking over on DraftKings for the sheet that they have, let's start with New England. Wow, they even have the wind emoji out for this game. God, they've gone all out on DraftKings. Fantastic. It's a muddied backfield. So on top of the fact that we have disgusting weather for this game, we have a really muddied backfield right now for New England. So we have Damian Harris, who is not being utilized in the passing game very much at all, if at all. And when you look at their last game, Harris only played 22 snaps. Now you'd say, okay, well, did he get hurt? Did something else happen? Well, no, they just have other dudes. So Ramondre Stevenson played 20 snaps, and Brandon Bolden, who's listed as questionable for the game, so he practiced all week. We're expecting him to play. Has taken over the James White role. Is that like a Wolverine? What is the tattoo on his neck? Like just jumping out of his jersey at us. He's taken over kind of the James White role, getting 19 snaps. Ew! Nobody getting over like 35% of the snaps for the team. So it's gross. So it's not even like we can hang our hat on one guy. Obviously, the most valuable is going to be the one that ends up scoring a touchdown. But like the most valuable one in terms of DraftKings, because of full PPR and everything else, and they do utilize them once they get inside the red zone, would probably be Brandon Bolden based on his salary. Ramondre Stevenson was fantastic in preseason, has been good when he gets close to the goal line as well when given the ball in the regular season. And then for the first, 2/3 of the season that has gone by so far, it's been the Damian Harris show. But like right now, this looks like the old 33 to 40% snap rate for New England. So it's just gross. But if the wind is such and the weather is such that they can't throw it, that we might see so few pass attempts from Mac Jones, who's been throwing it, 20 to 35 times a game. They want to keep him managing games, right? And not throw too much on his plate, but give him enough. But this might not be a situation now where we can do that because of the weather. Now, we do have a softer Bills defense than would normally be there with the injury to their all-pro cornerback. Not sure with the weather we're going to be able to take advantage of that. So, like, typically, I would be building groups around the wide receivers, right? Around the quarterback at captain or around the wide receivers at captain. Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith have basically gone back to like a true committee approach where like at the beginning of the season, it was Jonnu running all the routes. Then it turned into like Hunter Henry running all the routes and scoring a lot of touchdowns. And now they're basically running the same routes. Like Jonnu spent a few weeks in here where he was blocking a ton and not running routes on dropbacks. He was basically being used as a pass blocking guy, not the H-back that we all thought that he was going to be coming into the season. And now it's kind of evened out a little bit. Aguilar is still there. Like he's getting passes. Kendrick Bourne has been outstanding so far this year, even though he has not been like a target monster like a Keenan Allen or Deontay Johnson or any of those guys who's getting 8 to 13 targets a week. He's done very well with the targets that he has received in this low volume pass game offense. But I'm going to keep coming back to it. How many attempts are they going to want Mac Jones to throw, assuming that they can keep this game close against Buffalo, who has been tough against the run from a statistical perspective, but they've also played from ahead in the vast majority of their games, which has led them to, have that sort of situation. So if you're building Mac Jones at captain lineups, which I typically stay under 15% on showdowns, I'm probably going to stay under 10% cumulative, like both quarterbacks. I'm probably not going to have more than 10% Mac Jones plus Josh Allen. Maybe I'll have a max of 15, which is normally where I set it, but it'll be like 2-3% Jones and like maybe 5 to 10% Josh Allen. It's just not a route that I want to go. So I'd build that first group. I'd build another group if I had Mac Jones as the captain with the bring back group, everybody on Buffalo. I am still, if I have wide receivers here, going to tie Mac Jones to them, because if they are a viable captain and they are the highest scoring player in the night, it would make sense that the quarterback would come along with them. Now, I know that I've been harping on the weather and all those sorts of things, but we've said, based on that report, that the weather may not be as big a deal. It's not like they can't throw. It'll just be impaired, at least for the first quarter to first half of the game. And if they are able to throw well enough, having that wide receiver that has a big game, even if it's just on screen passes and short passes where they're the viable captain and these guys throw for 200 something yards and maybe 2 touchdowns, that means that they're going to be a viable quarterback with those pass catchers. So if I have him, or if I have Myers, or if I have one of the tight ends and captain, I'm going to tie Mac Jones to him. Going over to, well, before we do that, let's take a look at the Bills targets. Let's take a look at the targets for the Patriots. Jacoby Myers greatly leading in terms of targets. He gets a ton of them, but like, has there been a more disappointing 25% target market share guy in the league? Then you have Kendrick Bourne at 15 doing a lot with him. Nelson Aguilar at the same amount. Hunter Henry right behind him. But as I've said, him and Jonnu basically kind of the same. And Barron and Bolden, since James White went down, has taken over that pass game role for them. Looking at the Bills and what they can do, Josh Allen is amazing. He's our cover boy as always, as he should be on this slate, as he would in good weather be the most viable captain outside of maybe Steph Diggs. But if we're going to plug him in at captain, we're going to build that same group with Diggs and Beasley and Sanders and anybody that you think can catch the ball on this team, as well as the kicker to go along with him. The issue is everything just revolves around him, which kind of eats into the 3 running backs. Now, Matt Breida has become a thing recently. He's playing snaps. He's getting used in the passing game to the point where we had a healthy scratch for Dawson Knox last week, or sorry, for Zach Moss last week. Not Dawson Knox. He was healthy and back. Zach Moss last week was a healthy scratch and is priced at only 600. If he's active in this game, which he very well may be if the weather is as bad as they predict and they think that they're going to have to run the heck out of the football, both with Josh Allen and 2 to 3 running backs, he may be very viable at 600, especially if he can sneak into the end zone. Obviously, if he's inactive, don't play him. And then we also have Singletary at 4,600, who carried the ball 15 times last week in a trouncing of New Orleans. So if you're going to build lineups for this by hand, you have to script these lineups out based on how you think the game's going to play. You monitor the weather, you look at the field, you make your decision. If you think it's going to be a slogging, slow-paced, running game affair, play the pass-catching running backs, play the dump-down stuff, play the short yardage guys, and you'll be fine. And you may want to open up playing multiple running backs from the same team, but Josh Allen, being what he is, can definitely rip that away. We're going to talk about the same thing that we did before with the Bills pass catchers. Steph Diggs has been an absolute animal, 25% of the target market share. Then Beasley, who performs better against zone than man, and Emmanuel Sanders, who has seen a higher ADOT than he has in years. Dawson Knox, when healthy, has been quite valuable at tight end. So I'm not going to focus on the Josh Allen at captain groups because you know what to do with those. But if we have like Steph Diggs at captain, yes, you are 100% tying Josh Allen to that. Same thing goes if it's going to be Beasley. Same thing goes if your captain is going to be Dawson Knox as well. You're going to want to tie Allen to them because if they put up a score that is viable for them to be a captain, that means that Josh Allen should probably be coming along with them. Although I believe that this is going to be one of those weird games where either one of these, it's going to be low scoring, and whoever scores, if somebody sneaks in there twice, all of a sudden that guy's going to have to be played. Touchdowns are very highly variant, and I can't really predict them, and nobody can. At least on a single game perspective, this guy will score a touchdown tonight. That's impossible to do, but you know, it's fun to put yourself out there like that and say it's going to happen. All we can talk about is percentage chances. So if you want to play the percentages, that means it's somebody like Steph Diggs, who both has the ability to be open on short and intermediate and especially in the end zone, one of the highest targeted players in terms of end zone targets on the season, and coupled with Josh Allen's strong throwing arm that might be able to cut through the wind, Steph Diggs might be your optimal captain in this, and then pile on a bunch of running backs with Josh Allen in there to just try and get those PPR points where you can find them. Same thing could go for Beasley. So on this video, we always talk to you about how we're going to build lineups with the lineup optimizer on Fantasy Labs. So my typical rules for Showdown, assuming that there is no weather and no problems, always start here. Pair your captain quarterback with at least 2 wide receiver, tight end, or kicker from the same team. Pair the captain quarterback with the offensive players, not kicker or defense, from the opponent. Captain wide receiver with his quarterback. Captain tight end with his quarterback. And I limit to at most 1 defense or kicker from the same game. Obviously, for a game like this, you may want to change that rule and possibly allow both defenses. Limit 1 kicker, because kicking is probably going to be a problem if there are 25-mile-an-hour winds, especially as they circle. In Buffalo, they're not exactly like straightforward where you're going to be kicking into the wind or kicking with the wind. The wind swirls there, which we're going to see balls fly around like it's a Tim Wakefield knuckleball. So we'll apply those settings. The last group that we're going to build, and we don't build it on this because I don't have, percentages for the Monday Night Football game, but and also I have to leave some things up to you guys. I suggest highly that you build a group with at least one of, 4, 5, 6, 7 players that project for like 20 or 25% overall in the flex and down, so that you make sure you have at least one of those low percentage players in every single lineup. And what that's going to do for you is, look, Showdown's a game where you're going to share. You're going to get duplicated more often than not. And we've seen some solo lineups win this year, but like typically speaking, that's not where it ends up. You're going to share with a bunch of people. And if we win, and when we win, when we're in that position, we want to be sharing with like 5 or 10 people and not with like 50 or 150 people. So stuffing in that low played player and forcing the lineup builder to put that into every lineup is what helps us separate from the crowd. So if we have a chance to win, we're going to try and win as much as we possibly can. So thank you guys for watching. Drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel. You realize that we are like 500 subscribers away from 50,000. I'm going to be doing some big giveaways once we get there. I can't wait to celebrate with you guys. Hopefully it happens in the next week or 2. So drop a subscribe, ring the bell, look out for another video right there.
He's a legend.